Today, we're going to Sweetgreens, and I'm gonna show you how to navigate this menu. The good news about Sweetgreens is a lot of the menu options have over 30 grams of protein. Some of them have even in 40 grams of protein. However, a lot of their food, their bowls, are highly caloric. So we're gonna walk through how you navigate a quick eats like Sweetgreens. Hey, how are you? Can I get a Southwest chicken fajita? I gotta pick apart it. Can I get the Harvest Bowl? And then I'd like to get the Harvest Bowl, but without the goat cheese, without the almonds, and without the wild rice. We're at Sweetgreens, and we're gonna be ordering high protein, low calorie dishes. But here's the problem. Sweetgreens has a lot of high protein options, but they're also highly caloric. What I always look for is at lunchtime, dinner, to have around 400-500 calories, because that's a much more reasonable portion size for everyday Americans than something like 850 calories. And a lot of the dishes on Sweetgreens, they're 600 plus, all the way close to 900 calories per salad, right? It's not a salad anymore. That's like a carbohydrate, high fat meal with a little bit of protein. My rule for passing the test, if something had, let's say 40 grams of protein, what I would do is I would take the grams of protein and then I would add a 0 to the end of it. And then I'd want it to have approximately 400 calories or less to pass the test. So there are 3 major options here that I really like. There's the Miso glazed salmon. I thought that was excellent. I didn't order it today, but it's one of the 3 options that you could go with. The other one is the Southwest chicken fajita, which I've had in the past and is very, very good. And the third option is the Harvest Bowl, which has been around for a long time. Any of those are excellent options. You got a salmon option, you got a chicken option. They're all salad based and they're all great. But we need to make some alterations to these dishes because even the Harvest Bowl, which is the lowest in calories, has 685 calories. When you're looking at this chicken fajita, the Southwest fajita bowl, this thing has 830 calories. Again, it's too much for lunch. It's too much for dinner. It's too much for a meal during your day. Instead, what I'm gonna do is first and foremost, always take the sauce, put it on the side. It's a great rule to live by. If it's not a special occasion and you're ordering a dish, put the sauce on the side, especially when it's a cream-based dressing. These are vinaigrettes, they're fine, but something like a blue cheese, something like a ranch, they're gonna be loaded with calories. What I do when I put the dressing on the side or when I put the sauce on the side is I simply take my fork, I dip it in, then I go and I skewer whatever I wanna eat. Yeah. I can taste the vinaigrette, taste the peppers, I can taste the chicken. Very good. But I get way less of the calories. So, looking at the Southwest chicken fajita, 830 calories. It has 83, I'm gonna nerd out for a second here. 83 grams of carbohydrates. That means it roughly has around 300 of the calories coming from carbohydrates. It has 34 grams of fat, roughly 300 calories coming from the fat, and 47 grams of protein, meaning it only has about 200 calories coming from the protein. This bowl is actually high in carbohydrate and high in protein, but we can change that. And the first thing I did was I removed the white rice and I actually swapped it with arugula. Way less macronutrients, way more micronutrients. Secondly, I removed the corn because this dish, it has black beans, that's a carbohydrate. It has corn, that's a carbohydrate, and it has rice, a carbohydrate. So I removed the corn, I removed the rice, I kept the black beans because they're high in fiber and they also have some protein in them. I substituted the rice with the arugula. I added some peppers to it because I removed all these, and then I removed something called chipotle crema, which to me basically sounds like mayonnaise. It's a fancy word for it. So I removed the mayonnaise from this dish. And now with the dressing on the side, we have something that's close to 500 calories while being still close to 50 grams of protein. This dish comes very close to passing the test when making these alterations. And it is very good. It still has a lot of flavor. Second option, the Harvest Bowl. Harvest Bowl is 685 calories, 37 grams of protein. Again, it's got 62 grams of carbohydrates, so it almost has double as many carbohydrates as it does protein. There's nothing wrong with carbs, but we want a high protein, low calorie option here for lunch. And it's got 32 grams of fat, but it actually has more fat than anything else in this bowl. And that's because it has goat cheese, it has almonds, and then it has the dressing. So what I do, put my dressing on the side again. I remove the almonds, even though they're healthy fat, they're still caloric. I removed the goat cheese, which is a saturated fat, but still great for you, but I removed it. And now I'm still left with apples. I substituted the rice for the arugula again. I've got apples, I've got sweet potatoes, and I've still got a lot of taste, especially when I skewer my fork with it. This is a way to bring this, again, dramatically down. I would say this dish now has somewhere in the 400 calories while having 37 grams of protein. Now it nearly passes the test. Third option for you here, maybe you're not into chicken, so you want to get something like a salmon dish, the miso glazed salmon. With the miso glazed salmon, it's got salmon, it's got avocado, it's got a ton of vegetables, and then it's got white rice again. It's 860 calories, 33 grams of protein. We remove the rice, we're losing 150, 200 calories easily there. Avocado is a healthy fat, it's high in fiber, it's amazing for you, but there's just simply too much going on with this dish. I would remove that from the equation, and I would also substitute the spicy cashew because that's going to be a very caloric dressing, and use a vinaigrette for that. Conceptually here, guys, all we're looking to do is how do we bring down the calories and still enjoy ourselves at lunch? And of course, removing things like goat cheese, removing things like creamy dressings are going to affect the taste. But if you're serious about getting in shape, you need to bring down the calories in your lunch while keeping the protein up. These are great alterations. The important thing to remember, always about dieting, is that's just temporary sacrifice. Once you lose the weight, your calories will go back up. Something like Sweetgreens, it's not really a special occasion. It's not your birthday. It's not Memorial Day. You probably don't want to go ham when you're at Sweetgreens. You probably want to be able to enjoy the weekend with those you love. So my suggestion to you is when you're at Sweetgreens, act like you're on a diet. That way you can enjoy the meal on the weekends, whether you're with your partner, whether you're with your family. That's the way I would handle it, and that's why I'm making these alterations. Again, Sweetgreens is very high in protein. The problem is it's also very high in calories. So here's some simple alterations and some simple options for you to order when you go out to lunch at Sweetgreens.